So Congressman Greg Meeks, be happy to recognize you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate you from the great state of South Carolina.
Here, here.
I want to thank you, Chairman, again for convening this very important hearing, and I'm glad that this committee will give us the opportunity to discuss Afghanistan policy with members of the administration tasked with the policy's implementation, which is really important. And let me start off by thanking also all of our witnesses for their appearance and your work that you've done in a tireless manner on behalf of the American people. You know, when I look at what you do on a regular basis, to me, oftentimes those who do the type of policy work that you do, the State Department, is always underappreciated. And I want to take this opportunity to really thank you for your work and what you do on a regular basis. And last, and I had stated in our full committee hearing last November, I believe it was, that I clearly, and I think where we are in a bipartisan manner, are not under any illusions about who or what the Taliban is. I think that's something that we are all very clear on. But I also believe that we have to be very strategic about how we pursue our goals in a uniquely challenging environment, when you have that kind of environment that we're confronted with, and how we engage where it serves our interests and helps the people of Afghanistan and our foreign policy for the people of the United States of America. So, and what I'm trying to do, and I want to make sure that I'm clear, that I am especially concerned about the impact of the Taliban's control over Afghanistan, particularly on women and girls of that country. That is something that is very, very important to me. And I know, and I've been an advocate for a review and comprehensive about the entire 20-year period that we were in Afghanistan under each and every administration, from the Obama administration through the Trump administration and, of course, the Biden administration. But I know that it was, during the Trump administration when the Doha Agreement was made, and administration officials at that time suggested to Congress that the Taliban's views on women and girls had changed. Clearly that is not. And though that there have been some small spaces that were created for women and girls in Afghanistan, the Taliban has dramatically curtailed their freedom, so that I don't think that there's any question of that. So I guess the question I have for any of you is, what drives the Taliban's leadership to continue to place these limitations on the rights of women and girls in Afghanistan? And within those constructs, where do you see the potential opportunity to advance the rights of women and girls in the country as we speak?
Thank you, Representative Meeks. If I might take that question. And thank you for putting the situation of women and girls in the spotlight. It is the worst situation in the world. There's no country in the world that deprives girls of education beyond the secondary level. And it is a situation that we have called attention to in all of our public statements at every level of our leadership. In terms of what drives the Taliban would like to make the claim that this is based on religious grounds or cultural grounds. Those have been countered both by Muslim majority countries who have said that this is contrary to the practices of any Islamic country. And it has also been countered by the Afghan population that have roundly condemned the practices of the Taliban. And men and women, tribal communities, elders, families, fathers have said they want their daughters educated and they want them to be able to have the opportunity to work. Afghanistan is a country that is driven more by pragmatism than by ideology, and certainly not the extreme ideology that the Taliban present. The ways that we support Afghan women and girls is, first, we amplify the voices of Afghan women themselves. They are their best advocates. They are their strongest advocates. Not only do we amplify their voices through our mechanisms, such as the U.S. Afghan Consultative Mechanism, but we encourage every country that is working on Afghanistan to and make sure that they include Afghan women when they are engaging on the situation of Afghanistan. We encourage everyone to tell the Taliban publicly and privately in very emphatic terms that so long as they continue these practices, there will be no movement forward in normalization of relations. And finally, we believe that it's absolutely critical to empower Afghans themselves, who are going to be ultimately the force that will change these policies. Because the Taliban can say that they're going to ignore the international community. They cannot ignore the Afghan people. The people that we invested in for the last 2 decades are still the people that we need to invest in today. And with that, I'll turn to my colleague.
Rebecca, I see I'm out of time, but thank you for your questions, your answers, I should say. We appreciate your work.